Hello and welcome back to 100 Days of Making Comics with me, Zabethy. Today is day 11. So today we're going to have a little bit of rambling and a little bit of Q&A and some music as per usual. The first thing I wanted to say while doing this is the editing takes me a little bit more time than I would like, but I am getting quicker at it. So that in mind, I am going to start trying to get these out earlier than midnight, but we'll see next week. Today's Q&A, Classy Micah asked, question, where did you get the passion to start drawing, or what made you start doing art? I started doing art at a very early age. My parents, while they had professions in maths or sciences or working in the military, they also had a passion for art, or at least those who could do art, depending on which parent. I very lazily originally was doing art, which is, what kids do. They doodle, they do coloring books, they do whatever it is that they want to do when they're drawing. I didn't take it really seriously because one thing that I wanted to do from an early age is be a doctor. It wasn't until I was older that I realized that wanting to be a doctor so that I could afford to be an artist was a very silly plan, that I should just be an artist. And I realized that at 19, and I had already been in university for several years, and I dropped out of university and I started doing odd jobs. I was a landscaper at one point, I did gardening, I worked at a garden center, I worked at Walmart, I knit things, I made candles, I made soap, I did a whole bunch of, a huge variety of things. And I still wasn't finding myself. When I was a little bit older, in my early 20s, my mom told me, you need to move to New Zealand and get your residency. And then we can you can go back to school and do whatever you want, or you can get a job. Just, you need to get your residency here so that you can live here with us. And so I thought about it and I went, okay. I moved from the United States to New Zealand. Many of my things have either gone missing or were left behind. I have old art books from when I was a kid, a whole bunch of pictures, everything from the age of 1 to 22 is probably missing, which is why I kind of have this issue of I hold on to everything now because I'm afraid that if I don't, it'll go missing. So I moved to New Zealand. It took me just over a year to get my residency, and I thought about what I wanted to do, and I still had this niggling in the back of my head of I want to be an artist. I was doing paintings and I was doing different things that made me happy when it came to art, which is again a very childish way to approach art. And I thought, well, I could go to school for fine arts and be a curator because I would like to, work in galleries and curate art for people or work in a museum. And I applied to a couple of schools, and then I thought about it, and I went to Massey University and I had my interview and it went really well. And I got in early. And then in the first week of school, before the school actually starts, so orientation week, I asked about the illustration classes they had because I wanted to learn how to do illustration and I wanted to be good at it. And they told me, oh, in fine arts, we don't do that. We don't really have illustration classes. You have fine arts classes, and illustration is pretty much, not on your agenda. You won't be doing that for the 4 years you're here. And I thought, oh God, I want to do illustration. I really want to do illustration. So I went and I talked to the head of illustration in the design portion of the university, and I was freaking out because, there's only so many seats and blah, blah, blah. And he said, oh, okay, well, then come be in the design portion, be in illustration. You don't have to focus on fine arts if you don't want to. So I gave up my fine arts seat and switched to visual communication design specialization illustration. And it was there at the age of 23 that I realized that I was behind everyone. I had been approaching art from an early age with the mentality of this is fun, I'm just doing things for fun. And to be an artist, to be a good artist, for you to be able to convey the things that you want to convey and to be able to have your audience understand where you're coming from, you need a certain degree of discipline. I had not had this discipline. I didn't do studies, I didn't do any of those things. Most of the time I came up with things based on, my own thoughts or my own feelings or my own characters or etc., etc., etc. I knew that when I used reference, my art was better, but I wasn't using reference intelligently and I wasn't using it often. I was working from my brain. I had this idea in my head that if you used reference, you were cheating, because I had been told that so much by people on the internet, by people who were real artists, that if you used reference, you were cheating. And as an adult who can think for herself now and not somebody who's early formulating her ideas, I can tell you that is malarkey. Like, it's completely off base. If anybody tells you that using reference is cheating, then they are wrong. All artists use reference, or at least at some point used reference. When you go to life drawing and draw the model in front of you, or draw the still life in front of you, or draw the animal in front of you, you are working from reference so that you can build up that understanding, that library in your brain of, this is how a person looks, these are the proportions. This is how an animal looks, these are the proportions. And then you can later extrapolate that when you're creating something of your own. So I guess what I'm saying is, I got my passion for art from an early age, but it was uncultivated. And my biggest suggestion for anybody out there, no matter their age, is if you want to do well, if you want to make great art, if you want to make something that moves people, or you want to make something that makes people laugh and not laugh at you, or you want to do something, you need to put yourself in that. You need to do the hard work. And yeah, it sucks. It sucks drawing hands for 3 hours a day, 7 days a week until you can draw hands, but you need to do it if you want to be good at it. And you need to continue to practice it, because if you don't, you'll lose it. You'll fall backwards. It's like when you're in sports, you have muscle memory. It's exactly that. Art is like so much muscle memory. Knowing how to make your lines move and flow the way that you want to is practice. And that is, I think, a beautiful thing. There's a certain amount of talent, there's a certain amount of skill, and those things go along with it. But I think if you practice, you'll get better. And yeah, sure, you might never catch up to some amazing pro, but what's stopping you from trying? Prove yourself wrong. Prove everyone wrong. You can do it. Anyway, I hope that answers your question, Micah.
Moon, I'm there soon. I'm leaving quite early tomorrow morning. Undercover, baby, is what you ask of me. Soon I'll be disguised. Shooting star, I'm without a safety net. Give me a ride, I'm going far beyond where the sun sets. Dear, I'm no longer scared. The glow brings me comfort. I'm filled with light. Tiptoe dance with me through the shadow play. Moon, I'm on my way. Shooting star, I'm without a safety net. Give me a ride, I'm going far beyond where the sun sets. Shooting star, I'm without a safety net. the sun sets. A shooting star without a safety net. Give me a ride. I'm going far beyond where the sun sets.
Thank you all for watching. I hope you have had a wonderful day or night or morning, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. Please, if you don't mind, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment down below. I'll be answering more questions tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye.